Hello, welcome to the Reframing Mindset podcast. We are clear my head of the thoughts that are preventing clarity to practice my speech, among other things. Episodes range from informative knowledge to funny stories about my experiences, and in the future, maybe include interviews. So subscribe and enjoy. Episodes drop every other day. So welcome back to the Frame Mindset podcast. My name is Constant Brooks. This episode is basically going to talk about, quality versus quantity, because as every person on their wealth are getting rich journey, or whatever journey, I guess this is one of the more important things. You over time will realize that that's basically the two choices you're actually working with, because in these modern days things are changing. Money money is changing. Money is more not as simple as it used to be. Usually back in the days just have paper and coin, but now you have things like cryptocurrency, all these things and all these other stuff. But all those stuff, if you over time you realize that it's just fluff. Is good, but it's fluff to what you really want, and what you really want is actually quality things in the right quantity. That's exactly what you need. You want quality things in the right quantity, and when you get that perspective, you're even if you're not as rich, the quality of your purchase will get more better, and you'll you'll end up working in making it easier. So what do I mean? So boom, at the start, I, and I'm speaking for experience as well, you'll not be most things you won't be able to afford the best quality, because like for example the phone what I have now is not the best quality, and and even so the whole period from first time I've gotten a phone until now, I've never had the latest quality phone. I could never afford it, and I would never, if I given the opportunity, maybe I would, but I've never have one. Like, I don't have an iPhone, and to me, at one point I was considering it. One time when I was trying to get a phone change, when one of my phone I think break or something like that, I was considering getting. No, it was getting old, so I was considering getting the iPhone. And then I was so close, but then one of my friends actually taught me out of it, and got me back to my senses, because to me iPhone, while people may say it's the more quality phone and such like that, to me it's we call it, it's, to me the only reason I would want to buy it is, if I buy it, the reason why it's the quality, why it's the more quality phone or more sort of a phone will not meet me, because the good thing about it would be like iMessage and FaceTime. I barely talk to people, bro. It's a bit. I don't really have much conversation with people. This podcast is mostly where I talk, So they have that's one of those cases where getting the latest quality and stuff like that, and then not only that, the iPhone quality product is always constantly upgrading, so you have to always basically upgrade to keep up with their quality stuff. And when you realize that, yeah, that for you maybe starting out is not a quality journey, is not a quality purchase, because soon after you're basically behind the quality, so that's basically one example of where me not thinking about getting the most quality phone a most valuable phone, but getting the right phone with the right things that I want on it, like this one, which basically allows me to record my podcast and stuff like that. From those basic functionalities, I'm able to call. Like me knowing exactly what I'm going to do with my phone, allow me to basically buy something within my budget that doesn't really break the bank. I'm not going that low to basically pay loan to pay a phone or something like that. It's basically something that's okay within reach, that is reasonable, that accomplish the goals that I wanted to accomplish. You know, without kind of taking away from my quality of life. So that's one example. So the next thing is basically when you're going on your journey, you'll start out buying, maybe have to buy low quality things. Or for example, this podcast. This podcast, I would never really start the podcast, and if the Anchor platform wasn't free, if I had to pay for it, or pay or something like that, I would never be on it. And then you have some people that say maybe this is not the best platform to really record a podcast and something like that. And maybe you're right, but at that point, this is one of those other examples where I said, okay, yeah, this may not be the best, but it accomplishes what I wanted it to do. It's simple as I always say on the advertisement. It's simple, it's easy, it's free. Basically, I'll just come here, talk, and then just put the title, put a caption, and then boom, post it, and then schedule it to be published, and then boom, we're here. So that's one of those things where basically when you're starting out, you have to actually look for one of the easiest products you could find to, and that's how many of the products will be on the market, where basically some products are low prices because its quality is not maybe the best, but it basically has the basic things that you need to actually get the results that you want. So that's one of those situations. So basically, when you're starting out, you're not going to buy quality stuff, but you buy a lot of low quality stuff, and then because of the low quality, they may wear and tear more easily, they break more easily, so you have to buy a lot of it. So that's where quantity is, where basically you have to buy a lot of low quality products to basically actually keep up the good functionality. But we all have to start here somewhere. But eventually, over time, we're basically the point that I'm trying to make is, on your journey, over time, you'll have to make the sacrifices, but then you'll be able to be in a position to make one quality purchase, or your first quality purchase, I should say. And then when you make that first quality purchase that quality purchase basically serve you longer than those that you buy in quantity, and actually be able to do more, accomplish more with that quality purchase than what you will do with basically making buying a lot of the low quality things at the time. So basically that's essentially how you should think about wealth building. Is you changing the quantity, buying lots of things, to buy the quality things that you need to make your lifestyle or your life what you want it to be. And on the start, you have to basically start off buying a lot of low quality things to basically do that. But when I reach a point where you can make a quality purchase, to make it boom, that's how you do it. And then what will happen now, that quality product, the good thing about the quality product is that it lasts long, it accomplishes goals, it's more valuable and more sentimental to you, and you cherish it more, in that you take care of it more, because it actually takes it takes a significant portion of your fortune to actually get it. So you actually say, okay, I want this to actually last long and do its worth. That's what, yeah, so doing that now will basically, boom, make you actually cherish it more and get the more better use out of it. So that's the power of having one good, yeah, one good quality product or something like that. But as I said, your life is many things. Many things encompasses what you want in life. So you have to do a lot of quality purchases. Over time. But what the underlying message is basically you will have to start and see the things that you're buying on a daily and see if you're buying it because of the quality or if because it's just a quick thing. It's like, for example, you're buying a snack, you're buying a simple chips or something like that. Just because you're feeling kind of hungry or something like that. The chips will not really fill your belly, but it's just a thing to just keep you. Or you actually go out and buy the ingredients and stuff like that to build a nice full course meal, steak and whatever. I don't know. For me, what would that be? Basically, baked chicken and turkey neck and rice, and a full course meal that I eat, and I ate so much that I basically don't want to eat nothing for a good one to for people in America that celebrate Thanksgiving. You make the big turkey, and you just eat it and you say, yeah man, quality meal. So compare the turkey, the turkey that is prepared and such like to the chips that you just go to the shop and buy or the store and buy. That's the one will actually last better and be better than the other. So that's what you have to think about it. We are basically on a journey. You have to, yeah, that's the goal you should look towards. Where eventually is mostly like what I've seen is maybe I think the poor and the rich still don't still make the mistake, and that's why wealth is so volatile. Where basically one day a person can be the richest person and then boom another person can be the richest. It's because even though they are wealthy, in whatever value they have, as I said, these days paper, the money and stuff is getting more complicated and more volatile. I think what can solidify your wealth is having a quality purchase that holds its value. And that's basically what, things like gold, that when money was backed by gold, and that was the aim of it, where you have a quality thing that holds the value. Where basically where if I give you it, the best way to tell it is I don't know what I can't relate to, but for example, if yeah, I can't tell it, but basically the point of it is basically the way I see it to hold your wealth, because one of the things when you're getting richer and stuff like that, as people say, making the money is easy, saving it is hard. Or some people may say making the money is easier than saving it. Or it's not how much you get, it's how much you keep. So that's basically it, where basically when you get the money, the value of the money loses value over time as inflation and stuff like that. But if you get the money and make a quality purchase, that purchase, that product that you get will hold its value over time, and then it will be more, depending on what kind of quality purchase it may get valuable over time, so you can maybe sell it back at a profit, or the value of it. For example, this podcasting thing is basically is a free tool, and you can use it and start recording and such like that. But the reason from where I started from with this podcast to where I'm now, the podcast views will not reflect that per se, because what I never had the full, I don't have the full, we call it distribution, full distribution power to actually get the maximum views. It's just basically word of mouth, so basically the simple, basic stuff. So I just put it out, and then hopefully whoever listens, hopefully they like it and they listen to another episode or such like that. Basically, that's my method, the basic method. But how this podcast has become quality, so because when it now having over 100 episodes, it's basically a quantity of episodes. But over time, it helped me build my wealth. It helped me refine and basically realize what is important from what not is important. So it made me make more quality decisions, and not only that, for you, the viewers, it's a good way to basically go back to the quantity versus quality purchase. If you go through the episodes and stuff like that, and then you can learn from my mistake. For example, if you take one day, I basically go through a couple of days and just go through all of my episodes, you basically learn the mistakes that I made and what not to make, so that boom, you started from zero to reach where I reach would be a lot more faster than how long it would take me. And basically that's the difference between quality and quantity, where you making the best decision now saves you a lot of bad decision that you have to basically be compensating for over time to basically make up back to where you would be if you just made the best quality decision from the start. So that's basically my rant on quality versus quantity. So basically my conclusion on it is that if you think about gaining wealth, like think about my talk about it would be like, think about gaining wealth by making quality, not really by money and stuff like that, but making quality purchasing assets that will basically upgrade your quality of life. Like when you have it, you know the basic things that you need: food, shelter, and water. You don't need a big mansion or something like that. You don't need a big mansion. You just need a home with everything that you will need, that you want to do there. So if you're a worker or something like that, you just want a home with an office, a place to cook, a bathroom, a nice bedroom, and such like that, and all the things that you will need. So that's basically quality versus quantity. Quality in that you may buy a smaller house because you don't really need that much, but the things that are in that smaller house is quality. It is things that you need for your life that makes your life the best as it could be. So you pay, and then what you do, you're not overspending, so that whatever money you're making is basically a profit or something like that, because you're not spending unnecessary things that is not adding to your lifestyle. Everything that you purchase is adding to your wealth, adding to your lifestyle or something like that. So is the example, is the difference between having a quality skill, a skill that you learn and master yourself, that you can apply, than basically getting someone to do the work for you. If you learn it yourself, you can reciprocate it. You can add towards it and stuff like that, And the podcast is basically another testament to that as well. If you learn the skill that is quality over that's really good quality if you learn something that you can do well. So basically that's the mini rant on that, or very long rant, because it's basically almost 20 minutes. Can take what you need from it, but I guess this is my attempt again to basically concise the message. But basically, it's a hard thing to concise. But the best thing I say, try find a way to know what are the quality purchases that you need to reach that goal, and then make it, and it will worthwhile. It will be worthwhile. It's always worthwhile when you make a quality purchase. All right, yeah, that's it. Look forward for the next episode.
Well, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching and look forward for the next episode. To support this podcast, go to anchor.fm/CSSB/support or become a sponsor for this episode. If you have a product that you want to have more exposure, DM me on the Instagram page, Reframing Mindset Podcast, or on Twitter at ReframingP. Either way would help. Thank you regardless for listening, and here's a preview for the next episode.
L, that big L was also due to my lack of discipline, But you know, in the real world now, where basically your skills, your skill is basically what gets you paid, and then you're actually competing against other people, maybe the same people you actually went to school with, to essentially determine how much you get paid based on the skill that you have spent how much years learning. Discipline is where basically the difference between success or not success, in the real world. Basically the real world is basically a 24/7 job. In school you have 8 to 2:30 or whatever the time being. Basically in the real world